of doing.
100%. Okay, so we're going to record. So what I want to talk to you about today is the time that we are in on the Jewish calendar. Slowly but surely, you'll see people are going to be coming. So, and the time period that we're in is we have finished Pesach, right? And now we're going towards Shavuos. And what happened on Shavuos is that the Torah was given to the Jewish people. So, it's very interesting. I find a lot of people, when it comes to the holidays in the summer, they don't know about them because a lot of people went to Talmud Torah and it was over. Do you know what I mean? So people they don't like, there's like this like absence. There's almost like a hole in Jewish education. And it's really kind of scary because the whole purpose of Yetzias Mitzrayim, the whole purpose of taking out of Egypt was really for Shavuos, which was the giving of the Torah. So it's almost like people forget, like they don't realize like that connection. And the Torah tells you that they are so connected that these days between Pesach and Shavuos are called Chol Hamoed, like the intermediate days. And what happens between the holiday of Pesach and the holiday of Shavuos looks cool with my finger. It's like a little puppet, finger puppets.
Good.
Should make a smiley face over here. Yeah, so between Pesach and Shavuos is what we call Sfiras HaOmer. We count, okay? And the concept is to count each day and to count every day. So it's very interesting because we're counting up. Like we go, today's day 1, day 2, day 3. And usually, like, let's say, I remember when my Chaya was engaged, she made this like big giant calendar to the day of her wedding, right? And instead of going day 1, day 2, she would go count down. Like only, right? There's like 50 days, put an X. Now there's only 49 days. But it's interesting because we count up. So I'm going to explain why in a minute. And what are we supposed to be doing during these days of counting? What are we supposed to be doing? What we're supposed to be doing is focusing on growing and becoming a better person. Because the Torah tells you something very important. Derech eretz kadma l'Torah. Before you start thinking about what is the purpose of life through the Torah's lens, know that through God's lens, even to the non-Jewish world, right, to humanity, know that what does God want from humanity? To be good people. What does that mean to be good people? Because everybody's got a different definition. You go out there and you ask the world, what's a good person? Oh my gosh, are you going to have 100 million different definitions? True or false?
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Right? I define a good person one way and somebody defines them completely a different way. It's like really something. So God says, for humanity, I want you to have kindness. You know what I mean? I want you to have appreciation, all these different kinds of character traits, right? So, what we're trying to do before Shavuos is really develop that sense of what it means to be a respectful human being. All right. And the Torah tells you part of being a respectful human being is to emulate the character traits that the Almighty has, that He works and interfaces with us. So we say, what are they? Chesed, right? What's chesed is kindness, right? Gevura is a kind of a strength, but we're not talking about the strength to control other people, the strength to control yourself, right? Like God says that's real strength. Like when you really want to let somebody have it and you just like restrain yourself.
Yeah.
You take that 10 minutes out, the time out, the TO, and then you feel better, like you realize, whoa, 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 good, I didn't just act irrationally, you know what I mean? Just out of the passion of the moment. And like there's a lot of balance, right? Tiferes. God says, like, keep everything in balance. We don't like extremes. Extremes are not a really healthy way to live. God says live in balance, okay? It's interesting. Live with a foundation. The Torah tells you like you need a foundation. You need to be stabilized. You need to be settled, You need to know who you are, where you're going, where you're coming from. You need a strong foundation in life. Torah tells you live with royalty. Live with an understanding that you are important. You're not just the shmata. And the people around you are important. You can't just treat them like garbage. Everybody deserves to be treated royally, even if you pay them. Like some people get,
Yeah.
I pay them attitude. You were paid to do it. I heard a good story. Unfortunately, I can't remember the rabbi, but the rabbi said he saw this story. It was very interesting. Like there was the two kids, they were friends. Okay, so let's call them Chaim and Shloimi. All right, so Chaim and Shloimi are good friends, and Chaim goes to Shloimi's house. All right, and sometimes you get to stay there and eat dinner. You were hanging out for long enough that now they have to feed you. Okay, so Chaim's mommy, I think I got the people right. I don't know. Is giving Shloimi dinner. All right. So then, he gives the dinner to the mom, and mom takes it. Like Chaim takes it, no big deal. And then Shloimi turns to his mother and he says, Ma, thank you so much. You made such a nice dinner. Chaim's like thinking about it, like he's saying thank you to his mother, like he's a little bit shocked. Can you imagine? So later he says to Shloimi, he goes, how can you thank your mother that she made you dinner? That's her job.
Oh, I love it.
Could you imagine? He meant it sincerely. Like, I don't get it. Like, that's her job. What are you thanking her for? So then this little kid turned around and he said, we're called Yehudim. Okay, that's the name for being a Jew. And Yehudi means to thank. So guess what? It's our job to thank. Like it was like a very, you know what I mean? So like all these different things, right? That Hashem is telling you, like, first we got to work on this concept of derech eretz lekadma l'Torah. So you got to work on yourself. Therefore, you're counting up. Because when you count down, it's like, let me just get the day over with till I reach what I want. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? Like I just want my wedding. So we just get every day over with. But we're saying, no, no, no. It's the opposite. We're saying, no, we're going to look from the time we got out of Egypt. And when we got out of Egypt, we weren't real people. We were just slave mentality. After 80 something years of your story. Okay, so I'll tell you the MS. I got to keep my phone on just because my daughter is expecting any day. Okay, I can't afford to miss it because I'm the one who usually goes with her to the hospital. So I have to.
Oh, good.
So so I just
We'll
need it.
forgive you. Rebbitzin will forgive you.
Don't forgive me, okay? Okay, thanks.
So not so much, but
yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So we're trying to count to become better. Do you see what I mean? So you're trying to make every day count. So you're like, one day that I really worked on being a better person. Second day I really worked on being better. Because when we came out of Egypt, we weren't that good. We were lost. We didn't know who we were. We didn't know what it meant to respect someone, right? We were a slave. Sometimes you see that, I feel like, with the people who came out of the Holocaust. Like there was a filter that left them.
I didn't know.
Right. And because they were so put down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they were they were less than an animal. They were less than a cockroach. Like that's, if you stop to think what they did to the Jews at that time, right? They stripped you of everything, right? They tattooed you like you were an animal,
Remember,
branded.
they took your name.
branded, and they took your
number.
name away. That was all on everything of this was very purposefully done. The
Oh,
idea,
absolutely. Your
absolutely,
identity.
exactly, to absolutely make you a nothing. So you can't just come out of that and then know how to be a good mother. You know what I mean? Like just think about it. Like know how to be a good father or a wife or
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like your head was completely destroyed.
I like that. So they had to work on counting.
Yes. So this
Every
is we
day
came out
they
this
got
way.
better.
Yeah, so every day the idea was they got better and better, and it was 49 days. It's interesting because they said in terms of spirituality, they were on the 49th lowest level. And the Torah says if God would not have had mercy and taken them out of Egypt, they never would have been able to get out. They would have just been so lost. Do you know what I mean? And that would have been the end. So now Hashem says,
No redemption.
I'm taking you from the depths of the lowness, like lost, feeling like a shmata, feeling like a goonish, feeling like a nothing. And now in these 49 days, I'm gonna put you in rehab. I'm gonna nurture you and rehabilitate you, and you're gonna work on understanding how important you are, to the point that I am going to give the Jewish people the Torah, and I am going to tell you, I chose you because you chose me, right? Like it says, the Torah was offered to the world, all of the world, and everyone else first before us, right? And it said, I'm going to raise you up to a point that you are going to be such a strong nation that you will be able to have a responsibility to be a light unto the nations. Do you see? So what we're trying to do now is make, like Rabbi Pesach Krohn says, as much as we're counting the days, we're trying to make every day count. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to tell you.
The buildings.
Yeah. So now I'm going to tell you a couple stories about making your day count. Okay. So there's a beautiful story. Oh, here's someone's coming in. Baruch Hashem. Okay. So there's a beautiful story of the Imre Emes, like the Ger Rebbe. There's a Ger dynasty of all these incredible rabbis, and they're amazing writers and big influencers in the Jewish world. So yay, Tanya! Okay. So the Ger Rebbe, who was called the Svas Emes, he passed away, and he died like at 58. So we wouldn't usually say 58 is such a long life. Like you look at 58, Nebuch, it's not so long. So his sons were all sitting Shiva. They were all great men. And one of his sons, who became the next Rebbe, the Imre Emes of Ger, he said, he's talking to his brothers, and he said, at least one thing. Our father, he had long days. And the brothers were kind of hurt. Like, what do you mean long days? He died at 58. Like, we could have, wanted to hear much more. What are you talking about? So the Imre Emes, the older brother, said, no, you made a mistake. I didn't say long years. I said long days. Meaning that every day he filled. He didn't waste his life. Right?
Yeah.
So there's a beautiful expression in the Torah that talks about Avram Avinu, Avraham, our forefathers. So it says, Avraham Zokain, he became much older, and Babi Yamav, and he came with all his days. So what does that mean? Avraham was old, and he came with all his days. Like, okay, if you're old, obviously you come with your days. So what was the Torah trying to teach you?
He was busy all the time.
Yeah, he was busy. Oh, yeah. What was he trying to teach you?
Was he talking about the wisdom?
Yes, like he came with his days. He maxed out his days. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I remember. Rabbi Youngreis, we were talking about it. Rabbi Youngreis's husband, like she outlived him, by far. And when he was sick, he suddenly became sick. He was diagnosed with cancer and died 6 weeks later. So she was like, she couldn't believe it. And he turned to her one day. He said, a long life is not necessarily good enough, but a good life is long enough.
I think that's it.
You know what I mean? Very interesting way of saying things. So what we want to do is like take this concept of days, right? And understand what it means. Like take this concept of days, because every time, I would say like all the time, even this morning, wherever you meet someone, wherever you see someone, you always wish them have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good day. We're always saying that 24/7. So the question is, when you're wishing someone a good day and they're wishing you back a good day, what are you really wishing? What is the definition of a good day? Okay, so when we just flippantly saying it all the time, have a good day. So when we like just say have a good day, what do we meaning? Like, let's be real. Like when I, Swellen, have a good day. Like, what do you think I'm really wishing to you?
Make it meaningful. Put everything into the day.
You want it to be wishing that. You want to be wishing someone, like, it's very interesting. You ever have, people before Yom Kippur, they'll say to you, like, have a good fast. And then there's people who say, have a meaningful fast.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
So the day, generally, it's like nothing wrong, find the parking spot, get all the errands done, nobody in your way, nobody make you feel bad, have a good day.
Yeah. They don't say, don't kill anybody, run over the cat.
That's right.
For you and me, it's don't fall.
For me, it's don't trip, don't fall, like Cecile said. But
fill everything. Just fill it with
what we usually mean when we say have a good day. So, but what's interesting?
meaningful. Yeah.
What's interesting is, let's say somebody has a difficult day. The boss didn't say the nicest thing. This one had a temper. When people try to cut you off when you're driving, like, you went all the way. Like I went all the way to Costco. I bought this giant vacuum cleaner. Now I have to go all the way back and return it. Anybody have that kind of
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So doesn't look like such a fun day, but what about if I had all those struggles and I was okay with it, and I didn't blow someone's head off, and I didn't scream and yell, and I didn't call and be rude? What about if I was okay with it, and I grew, and I had this little... So what's that? That's a really good day. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we say to someone, have a good day, so Ellen, you nailed it. Like, even before I got there, you nailed it. What is it? It's have a meaningful day. Meaning, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily, and it's not easy, it doesn't necessarily have to be so comfortable, you know what I mean? Right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. Like, especially, like, if you live here, every morning the weather ain't what you want it to be. Okay. I think that's been for the last 5 months, right? Like, to be real, right? It's been pretty dark and pretty gloomy and pretty this and pretty that. So we're gonna have to make a real effort to make it be a good day, right? We can't carry this with us, right? And we can't wish. Sometimes you wish a lot of your days away, right? That's this idea of the counting down. You just wish them away. So how many of us, like, I remember when I was younger, you just, all I want is to get married, all I want is to get married. Like, what am I going to do? You finish high school. Okay, now what's going to happen? Like, and when you were in school, how many days did you wish away? Oh my gosh. Like, how much of school was, I can only wait to get out of here, and then when you got out, it was, I wish I could go back there. Right? It was so much more simple. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? How much we wish away. So Torah's telling, when I say have a good day, it's like, have a good day. Take what you got and have a good day.
Just fill it with positive.
Yeah. So here's how, so Torah tells you, let's, like, it's let's look at, what does that mean? Like, so let's look at some tools, right, that the rabbis, the Torah, the Meforshim, Tehillim, all these different sources can tell you to use to help you have that good day. Because you're going to have to focus your mindset for this. It's not going to just, you know what I mean? The bracha, the blessing that God is telling you is, you're right, you can't choose the makeup of the day. You can't. Right? Like, I had this crazy fall. You can't choose the makeup of the day. I was just walking on the street and boing, that's it.
Terrible.
No choice, right? And like,
No.
Cecile, you were in Miami on vacation. Okay, boom. Okay. You just don't have a choice. Okay, that was the day, the cards that are dealt to you. So that you don't have a choice. The cards are dealt to you.
I was getting up to light Shabbos candles.
You were getting up to light Shabbos candles. I was going home to take care of my daughter. Okay? Like, it's not on Yantif. Like, it's not that we were doing naughty things. We weren't in a gambling casino and tripped and, bumped our wish on the what's it called? On the dice or something. Like, what's it called? We were doing good things.
Every day.
We were doing good things, going to light Shabbos candles, and boom. Okay, so what, right?
A reminder.
Reminder. Okay, that's it. Boom, boom. Okay.
A reminder to slow down.
Reminder, slow down, reminder this, reminder that. It was what was dealt. And now you got to work from that point.
Right?
Now you got to work from this reality. So, it's interesting. And you're gonna have to work from it a day-to-day basis. I was listening to Inspiration for the Nation. It's a very nice podcast where this person tries to get like different people. It's a Jewish podcast, so different Jewish people who've gone through different challenges and like learn something inspirational. So this young guy actually put his name down. His name was Isaac Melech. It's right now, if you want to listen, you could listen. His name is Isaac Melech, and he was living in Mexico. Normal life, like a nice dad, nice guy, went to shul, goes to davening, had a good job, just like the la la la, had a little child, everything nice, right? And so what happens to this Isaac Melech? He's in the car and he was going to be held up. And he happened to have had a lot of money with him, like lots and lots. Okay, he had just gone to the bank and it was for some kind of business deal, and he had $25,000 cash, right, in the car. And they like take a little gun, they put it right by the window. They were on a motorcycle, and they tell him, like, you give us the money. And he thought, okay, he's going to be smart. He's going to outmaneuver them. And he tells them, go into my trunk. Like, right, was at a red light, which is like the type of stuff that happens in South Africa, right, where they hold you up at the light. So he's at a red light. He says, go into my trunk. And then he figured that they'll walk around to the trunk and he'll speed off. Okay. So they go to the trunk. They don't find anything. And he starts speeding. And the other guy who was still in the front shot him. Okay? And he, without realizing it, he was shot into the spine. So he's like whatever he can do, he's doing as he drives, ends up crashing. And he became a paraplegic from that incident. Okay. So, but such a positive person, and went on with his life and does a million things, and the kindest guy. Didn't have such a good English because he really speaks Spanish, but such a nice, like you could see, and lives as a paraplegic and kept, just has this amazing attitude. So they're asking different questions. How were you able to do this? So he said, because I look at my life one day at a time. I don't think about the future. I don't try to think about the past. I just go hayom, yom. And that's something that's very interesting, that in Judaism, when it comes to talking about the day, we don't say today is Tuesday. It's very funny. We go hayom, yom, sheni. We go today, hayom, like very specific. That hey in front of the word makes you really specify the day. Like today is Tuesday. We don't go, it's Tuesday, it's Monday. No, today is Tuesday. Why? Focus you in. Hayom. Today is my day. That's all I have. Tomorrow, I have no idea. None of us know what tomorrow brings. None of us. So Hashem is telling you, take your day, right? And make the best out of that day today. Okay, so I think that's like such a beautiful idea. So now we're going to take a look at defining what a good day is. Okay, what's going on with this good day? All right, so we're going to see where we're going to look at the roots to this discussion. We're going to look in Psalms. We're going to look in Tehillim, and who wrote Tehillim? Who knows? Who wrote the Tehillim?
David Melech.
Yes. Okay. Very proud of you. Okay. Beautiful, Cecile. So yeah, you pat yourself up. Okay. So if we could remember our name, we pat ourselves.
They're brilliant.
You're right about that.
Okay, so David HaMelech. So David HaMelech, what do we know about him? He had a terrible life. Okay, he really, like, from the outside, if somebody was looking in, it's like one of these most tragic lives in history. And in fact, we say it was from all that tragedy that his greatness comes. And he wrote Tehillim. He left that a legacy for us to be able to pray and to call out to God under all terrible circumstances and good circumstances too. Okay, so what does David HaMelech say? He says, Mi ha'ish hechafetz chayim. So mi ha'ish, who is the man or the person? Okay. So I want you to know that when you use the word ish, you're talking about someone who is more refined. You're talking about somebody who is looking to have a fulfilled life, right? It's interesting to know, like, because there's a lot of words for man, Adam, Ish, what I mean? There's a lot of different words, but Ish, like it says, Mordechai, Ish Yehudi. Mordechai, he was like a respected person. Like Ish means somebody who cares to really grow. There's a lot of people out there that they don't really care to grow, right? It's like, the story with Jacob and Esav, right? With Yaakov and Esav. And, he said, like, eat, drink, and be merry. Like he sold the birthright for a pot of beans. I'm serious. Because he was hungry right then and there. And he said, what do I need this for? You talk about the world to come and this and that. Who cares? It's like right here and right now that all that matters. And right here and right now, I'm really hungry.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Where are you birthday?
Yeah, just right here, right now, just like that instant gratification. Okay, so it's not just, hayom yom. That's not a person who's living for hayom to develop themselves. It's Tuesday. There's nothing else to think about. You know what I mean? Like, got it. I just need something. I need it now. Let's not talk. Like, let's not think. So it's a very interesting idea. So he says, mi ha'ish hechafetz chaim. Who is the person who chafetz means really wants, really desires? It's really something they think about. They yearn for this. Chaim. What's Chaim?
Life.
Life. So what did we say is very interesting about the word Chaim? It's in plural.
Right.
Okay. So we as Jews, we're looking for lives more than one. Okay. So what does that mean? We're looking for lives more than one. That's like an odd type of thing.
Like we're not in it just for ourselves?
Okay, that's one way. You're a smart cookie. Okay, that's one way. No, that's really a beautiful way to look at it. Like it's not just about our own personal life, it's like everyone involved. That's beautiful. And a second way is that we as Jews believe in this world and a world to come. Okay? So when we're talking about this world to come, we're not talking about that we die and we go up to heaven and we're like just a soul and everything's hunky-dory and they actually call that a waiting room. That's the waiting room for the real olam haba. What's the real olam haba? A destiny to world history. Okay, where we really believe there's a resurrection of the dead and everything is completed. And every person who put into this building of this tikkun olam, of making this world better, will be there to witness it. It's an interesting, beautiful idea. That's what we really believe in. So we don't believe like everything that's happening even right now in history is blowing everybody's minds. Okay, this whole Iran story and Trump and this, like if you stop and you think about it, we have been through craziness for the longest time. I think since COVID, everything has been nuts. And I was really actually thinking about it today, how much Rahmanis we have to have for the people in Israel, because this is nuts. Like, imagine like they went through COVID. They were very strict in Israel. COVID wasn't a joke there, right? They were very, very strict, and none of the kids were in school. And guess what? For the last month, I don't think anybody's been in school either because of the sirens. Like, imagine a parent, like, I can't even imagine. Everybody is home and you're trying to make Pesach. That's like, in a good, that's a test. That's a real.
And they wake up with a smile on their face.
Yeah, right. And you've had to make Pesach, and then you try to go to sleep at night, and all the sirens are going, right? And even the noise on your phone is very loud too. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's, oh my gosh. So you have to really appreciate what is going on here. So miha ish hachafetz chaim. So we're saying it's not for nothing. All this trip, all this Holocaust, all the pogroms, everything. It's not an accident. It's all lining up to this final destiny to history. And all these people are going to be rewarded on steroids because they did their job. You know what I mean? Like you worked in the factory and you put in your time and you built history to this point, and then you pass the baton, and then the next people have to build it to the next point, right? So when we say Miha Ish HaChafetz Chaim, who is the person who loves life, we're saying, oh, I want to make the best out of my life right here and there because I love this reality that my life is purposeful and I want to see the end of the game too. So thank you, Hashem. So what does the answer to David HaMelech? He says, Miha Ish HaChafetz Chaim, who's the person who really wants life? How's he going to get it? How is he going to get it? That's what he's saying. That's the question. Ohev Yamim. He's going to love his days. He's going to love the gift of every day because every day is a possibility to make the right choice between right and wrong and good and bad and true and false and close to Hashem or not. Every day, even in the simplest things. Okay, you had a choice right now. Okay, you had a choice right now, and I had a choice too. Let's be honest. We both had a choice. We both had choices. We could use our time. I don't know. I could have gone shopping. I could have gone to Costco and returned the vacuum cleaner. You know what I mean? I could have done all the different little things I had to do. But instead, I said, you know what, Hashem, no. I want to be with amazing, beautiful, great Jewish women. And I want to learn with them. And I want to grow with them. And that made my day.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I'm being honest. That makes
too.
it really makes our day. And you don't realize it makes who we are inside. And instead of just feeding our body, we're just feeding our soul. Do you know what I mean? And when you're feeding your soul, you walk out of this and you're going to think differently. So somebody's like, you're walking and somebody like, you know, says some kind of stupid remark. So you know what? You're going to think twice about it. You're going to go, yeah, you know, I could say something back. But if I do, I'm going to say it politely. You know what I mean? Like I can say it back. I can say, excuse me, that was inappropriate. But I don't have to turn around and go, yeah, you idiot. You know, do you know what I'm trying to say? Your day will be different. That's what the whole beauty of this is. So, Ohev Yamim. So who's the person who really wants, who's the person who really wants, you know, life, really wants life? Not just an instant gratification, scroll all day on your phone, watch Netflix for 300 hours, you know, then go and like, you know, like something meaningful. Okay. So you want something meaningful. What do you want? You better love your days, love those opportunities to do what? Liros Tov. Love the opportunity of your day to see the good in it.
To leave a good what?
To see the good in it.
Oh,
that's
see the good
the
in
opportunity. What's the good in it? The opportunity you find in it. Okay? See the good in it. So even if, yeah, you know, things weren't so good, but I got up, I smiled through it. You know, it's okay. I got my job done. Right? I opened up a sitter. I talked to God, talked to my friend. I made the day a better day. I didn't just like what Sue Ellen said was beautiful. Not just to live for yourself. You lived for someone. You did something nice. That's all. I don't care. You held the door. You did this. You did that. You know what I mean? You did. You did. You did for others. You thought of others. You thought of, you know what I mean? You gave a little charity. You did like all the different opportunities, right? Liros Tov. Like, because especially I feel, I'm going to be honest, as you age, I feel like it gets harder. It's not easier. It gets harder. No, it gets harder. Much harder.
Much harder.
Yeah, life's harder. And you got to be able to wake it up and shake the willies, you know what I mean? And say, you know what, Hashem, thank you for the opportunity. I want life. I want life. I'm choosing life. That's what Torah tells you. You have a choice. That's what Torah says. B'charta b'chaim. Choose life. As the Torah tells you, be very careful, choose life. And choose life is a meaningful life, a soulful life, right?
Is that when the Torah tells you, choose life, it's not just saying, like it's saying, choose the right path.
Exactly.
That's why it's documented. You have to choose life for death.
Yes, you have
choose
to.
Life. That's the only option.
That's the only option. You could take the other one, but that will be to your detriment. God says, listen, you have your choice. You have your choice. This guy had his choice. The one who was hit in the car, like who's hit by the bullet.
Yeah.
He was 24 years old. You know what I mean? It's a young guy. He could have said, you know what? I'm done. I'm a paraplegic. I'm a loser. I don't, what does anybody need me for? Blah, 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 blah. And that could have ended his, like, ended his whole, what's the word? Like vitality. Could have just given up on it. Do you know what I mean? At 24, to have that happen?
Terrible.
Terrible. And he said, no. Okay, so now I got a wheelchair. He said, now there's me and a wheelchair. So I'm going to work with my wheelchair. And he said his wife was an amazing woman. She stood by him. She could have also turned around and said, you know what, this is too much. I didn't really ask for this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
be sorry that I don't see going forward with this. I'm being real.
So does he do these podcasts and such?
No. He was interviewed. It was a plain guy, like a sweet man, a sweet, like young adult, sweet guy who ended up having this happen to him. You know what I mean? But somebody told the interviewer, like, this guy's got such a nice joie de vivre for somebody who's been through so much. And he said he had bad days. It's not like he, went, oh, I got shot. Yay. It wasn't like that. But he said he had to work day by day. And the only way he gets through his day is he says, this is Hayom Yom. I'm not thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm just going to push through. It's not like, I'm being honest. Please don't think like I'm like this Pollyanna. It's so easy to think. It's not.
No, gosh, no.
No, this is, life is work. That's what Hashem says. You came to this world. That's what God says. I'm promised no rose garden like you're sitting on the beach here. That's what God up front tells. This is the work. Asiya means doing. You got to work here. Then I promise you the vacation.
Yeah.
That's what
you getting what is after in the afterlife?
Yes.
What you put in now.
Exactly.
Now it's not the reward afterlife is.
That's exactly right. And that end of destiny, the destiny to history. Like, it's been a very long trip for the Jewish people. Like, if you stop and you think about it, like, we are it's a total miracle that we are still here. Total. And believe me, there are people today who are as vicious as the Nazis who would like to see us off the planet. And not just Iran. I'm not talking just Iran. People like Tucker
Carlson.
Tucker Carlson coming up with, that shows you my head. Okay, but coming up with such like vile lies, vicious, crazy, what's it called? Like just making up stories. You know what I mean? Completely making up stories about us, making up stories about Israel and Netanyahu, like completely bizarre stuff.
It's terrible.
The bizarre thing is people are listening. That's what's so bizarre.
Right. That's even more bizarre is that people are listening, but they want to listen because people
who know the least speak the most.
Yeah,
and it's garbage.
But people are listening because you listen to what you want to hear. So down deep, they love to have a little scapegoat. You know what I mean? And we're a scapegoat.
So as people, is it our job, Gail, is it our job to acknowledge and listen or turn it off?
Turn it off.
Yeah, that's what I do. So when people bring it up, I don't know, but I'm not familiar with that process because I turned it off.
Right.
But I think is that on me or on them?
Yeah. It's right. It's there. It's not going to help you. Like, if you're Ben Shapiro, don't turn it off because Ben Shapiro needs to defend it. That's the role. Yeah. That's the role God gave Ben Shapiro. But no one's going to care what Sue Ellen or Gail Michalowicz, like, not in a mean way. You know what I mean? Tucker Carlson isn't looking for our approval. Do you know what I'm saying? So what we have to do is we have to realize, you know what, God, He gave us this day. We want to help move, not only make the world like ourselves better, but when you make yourself better, you make that butterfly effect.
And for me, gossiping, listening to Lashon Hara is not going to make anything better, but 100%. Giving, that kind of making
very well. Exactly. And I
Doing
find
better with the time.
yes, and I find a lot of when people are listening to this like
Yeah.
conspiracy theories, it scares you. Like you end up getting
Yeah, for sure.
anxiety. You get anxiety. You know what I mean? It's not for us. Like we got to let go and say, let go and let God and say, Hashem, this is your. This isn't my part.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yours.
Not my
Yeah.
ticket. It's
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah. It's
Hashem
yours.
responsibility.
Yes, it is. We can't even come close. Okay.
Was it?
So,
Not
okay.
above my pay grade.
Above my pay grade. My what's the other one? You don't have the width span.
Bandwidth.
Bandwidth.
Right?
Today is upside down day, if you noticed. Okay. Okay. I'm blaming everything on my fall. Okay. So if I don't remember things, it's because I fell. Okay.
Okay, blame it on Cyril.
On Cyril. That too. Okay. Between the two of them, I'm gonna go Michigan. No, I'm joking. Okay, so yes. Okay, so this idea. So you want to see the good in your day. So you have to see even the challenge in your day is also good. So let's say, you know how many, like, I'll tell you, this was a thank you, Hashem. Okay, this is a little bracha here. I had to go, you know, when they send you those papers that you have to go for your, to screen for breast cancer.
Yes.
We all get
Yeah.
it after a certain age. Okay, so I wanted to make an appointment. I made an appointment. It took me 5 months to get that appointment.
I'm sure.
Took me 5 months. Okay, so now I finally got the appointment, and today I'm looking at the calendar, and it says I have it on Wednesday, and I realized I don't have the little white paper that I got from the government. So I called them up and I go, "Hi, I don't have my paper. I just want to make sure that that's not going to make it a problem for my appointment tomorrow." And she goes, "What's your name? Let's just confirm." And she like goes through the stuff. Your appointment isn't tomorrow. I mean, it isn't on Wednesday. It's on Thursday.
Okay.
So, Baruch Hashem, you know what I mean? God really saved me because I don't want to drive there to find out I didn't even have an appointment, right? But what if I wouldn't have had that happen?
Or
What if it wouldn't have just,
fortuitous.
yeah, I would have showed up and I would have wasted my time and blah, blah, blah. How would I Liros Tov? How do I see that and go, no, that's good? How do I see that? You just say, you know what? It's from God.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not a waste of my time. For some reason, I had to be on the road at this time. For some reason, I had to be here at this time. I'm not going to go like take a nut bird craziness because of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
for
all.
sure.
Just is what it is. Let go and let God. And that's Liros Tov. What's the Tov that I do? I really did a big mitzvah right then and there. Huge mitzvah. You know what that mitzvah is? Amuna, faith. That was a huge faith mitzvah. So just say, you know what, God, I give it to you. It's okay. This wasn't an accident. I'm not furious. I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid. I wrote the wrong day. La, 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 la. You know what I mean? And just start beating yourself up because you know what? We are who we are and we have limited seichel sometimes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's not my choice either. I don't go out of my way to say, the wrong words and to this and to that. I'm not going out of my way to do this. All right. It's just what God, that's my brain now. That's how Hashem created me now. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to beat myself up and I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to just say, I have a Muna for some reason.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Let go and let go. So these are points of how David Amelech, and like we're going to learn some more, how you have a good day. You see the difference when you have a certain, what we call hashkafa. You have a certain philosophical understanding, right? And that philosophical understanding is through the lens of Torah and Hashem. And when you have that, do you see the difference? Because take that lens out, like take it out, take it out, right? And just think about like this one said this to me. I'm not going to forgive them. And how many people like they honk you, like do you ever like, yeah, these, did you ever get chased down by these nuts? Like by mistake, what's it called? Like I once I cut off someone. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut them off. I really didn't. Do you know the guy followed me home until I got on my driveway? I like got out of my car on my driveway and the guy came out and he started screaming and I just looked at him and I said, you know what? I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't see you. It was just a flash. He goes, oh, it was. You learned your lesson. And I'm like, yeah, I did. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
But
Did you realize he was following you?
yeah, but I didn't know
You
what to
did
do.
know.
I was trying to get out. Like when the guy's following you and you're just
Mhm.
thinking like it's not possible. It's not going to go up your
Yeah.
trunk. You know what I mean? I went up my
He's got nothing better to do.
has nothing better to do, or his
And he was ready for a
Anger.
fight.
what?
He was
Anger.
probably ready for a fight.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is what I'm trying to
You
say. Like,
you diffused that one well.
right? Do you know what I'm saying? So if you
Okay.
don't, yeah, you got to use like if you don't have these kind of realities in your head, like you can imagine, like yeah, just wish me a good day because it's not about me making my day good. It's about just giving me all the stuff I need so I can have a good day. Right? And what's the saddest part? Even if you gave me all the stuff I need, I'm always going to find something I should have still had. You know what I mean? Right? Like no matter how much everything is going to, you know, how many people like, right? They go on these most expensive vacations in the whole world and everything is gorgeous and wonderful and beautiful. And then their suitcase, the zipper stuck. And they're like, oh my God, stupid suitcase. You know, get the zipper unstuck, right? And that's like the end of the world. Now the whole vacation is ruined. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So this is what we have to realize. Not an easy thing, but when things aren't going right, then you have to say to yourself, who's the person who really wants life? Who wants depth and meaning and understanding? Eh? Right?
Yes.
He has to love his days, right? No matter what color they are, if they're gray outside or they're blue skies, Ohev Yamim. It's not easy, right? It's not. This has been, I think, a very long time, right? Like, you know, a lot of my kids went away. First, they were like fetching, it's so hard if the pack, you schlep all this stuff. You know, they were like, right? Typical, which all of us, right? So then they call me. One was in Florida, one was in California. This is all to visit the, you know, the other mishpacha, right? And one went to Vancouver. You know what they said? It was amazing. We saw the sun.
Good for them.
It's like there's a sun out there. Like they didn't care about anything else. So that's what I'm trying to say. You know, we're gonna have to see Liros Tov. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, and the world is trying to convince you otherwise. You don't understand. You don't live in a world that tells you, like, see, you know, see the good, make the best of it. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. Buy this, buy that, try this, try that. Because it is never good enough. Like what they're doing now with the like as we're aging, I'm like ready to throw up. You know, these like Tai Chi walking, you know, all these
Yes.
ads. Do you ever see the ads? Okay, so the woman has like an older face, and then it's like for sure it's AI. There's no doubt about it. They're put on these like bodies, like nobody has a body like that unless they've gone through a lot of surgery. Like I'm just being honest. No one's getting that in 6 weeks of Tai Chi. Okay. Like, of Tai Chi walking. This I like even better. 6 weeks for 10 minutes. Okay. Suddenly, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so you're always being fed, never Liros Tov, because nothing is ever good enough. Otherwise, if it was, I can't sell you anything else. Do you see what's going on? So like you're living in a world that nothing is good enough. And Hashem is trying to tell you, no, you can make it feel like it's good, not that it's comfortable. Okay? Good does not mean comfortable in Judaism. Comfortable is just the word comfort. It isn't that wasn't mean. Good means meaningful. There's potential, there's meaning. You know what I mean? And that's what we're learning. Okay, so we're gonna learn more. Like I like this topic a lot, so I'm gonna work with it. Okay, because I really feel like it can give you some good tools and a really good attitude. So I'm just so happy to see everybody. Mwah! I love you guys.
Wish
So
you luck for your daughter.
yes, Amir Hashem. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Anything you want to ask or say or share or anything? No, anything? Yes.
When's the next class?
When's the next class? Okay, so my next class, I'm going to try to do something on Wednesday in person if you want to come. This week, oh wait, you know what? I could stop the recording. I don't have to give all that stuff.